Good evening.
Welcome to Chennai.
Thanks a million.
What has been your experience this time? I'm sure this is not the first time that you have come.
No, this is the second or third time I'm coming to Chennai.
Any difference you find?
Lot of difference as far as the city is concerned. There's a lot of development happening in the city.
Yeah.
Metro routes and all these things are coming up. Lot of changes that are there in the past, post-COVID and before COVID. It was completely different.
How was the seminar and all that you?
Hears and remarks by his other senses what there is of an altered, unusual character.
That you
Very good. It was a good response. 100 plus students and practitioners had participated, and it was a good interaction session also at the end.
Oh, very
they
nice.
were really very happy with the seminar that was there.
Very nice, sir.
Topic was also very good, so they really enjoyed it.
Very nice, sir. I remember you being one of those people who impacted me a lot on the art of conversation in case receiving, not case taking. Could you throw a little light on that, sir?
See, basically the whole idea is, as a human, we need to understand another human being. It is not only about what they are suffering from, but the idea is what exactly is their need and requirement. What is beyond that need that they are actually focusing on, and what is it that they are expecting out of life and out of their surrounding environmental situations, and if they are not getting it, what exactly is their problem and how do they see that problem. This art of conversation has really improved a lot way through, not only to me as a practitioner, but also with the people around me, and also what is the important thing is that many of them who have gone through with this idea of this conversation that we are dealing with, they have really improved themselves as a homeopath and also as a human being.
That I agree with you totally, sir. I mean, I remember the first time when I came to Trichy to hear you after Divya had called, and wondering what is this gentleman going to talk about. He's going to talk about the art of conversation, but it was so mesmerizing and I was on, and it was wonderful because it has really helped me in practice. There is no doubt about it.
True,
Absolutely
true.
no doubt about it. The when to ask a question, what kind of question to ask, and why to ask, which you always emphasize on. Oh, it has made a quantum leap.
Correct. The purpose
Yes,
of every
yes.
question is very, very important.
Yes.
So that once you develop that connect, once you establish that connection, only then the communication can happen. And once the communication happens, then it makes sense to that conversation.
Absolutely, sir.
So these three C's are very, very important.
I also remember those lovely times we had at Swara Gurukul in Konkan. Could you share some of those moments and how you started the whole thing? It's about 10 years now since Swara, sir. So could you share some more on that, sir?
See, basically the idea that I had was to have something like, culture, ethics, practice, and being with nature. This was the major thing that I had, because the students cannot really afford to pay such a lot of amount of money in cosmopolitan cities and then 2 days, 3 days to stay and all that thing. So I thought, what best I can do. So I chose this remote area over here in Konkan, where we are doing this entire project 4 times in a year. 7 days each project. 4 times in a year we are doing, and we are covering up different topics for each sessions, and it is not only studying or learning as such, but it is having culture, everything as a human being, everything is incorporated in it. It starts in the morning at 5:30. We have this morning walk, sometimes yoga, sometimes aerobics and all these things, and then we have a morning session which is of 1.5 hours. Then we have a break for breakfast. After that we carry on with the second sessions. Then we have a Konkan break. So like this, the morning session we have for 4-5 hours, we have the teaching theory part. Afternoons, then we have this video cases being shown where there are different groups that we are made and set up. All of them together see this video cases, and then we have a half-an-hour session to each group go and discuss about the case that is there and what is the remedy and what is the understanding. and then all the groups come together, and then we have a big fight session, like discussion on that particular case. Why is this remedy? What is the person talking? What is the person trying to tell? Is it in the case, or is it your theoretical knowledge that is being implemented in the understanding? So all this thing, and in between sometimes we have this small little games for as an entertainment part of the story, so that students are there, children are there, so they don't get bored enough to get into the teaching pattern and everything. Plus, apart from this, we have quiz competitions in 3 different subjects called Organon, Repertory and Materia Medica. So they really have an active participation. So it's like a family unit, all together. And there is not buffet dinner or buffet lunch like system. We sit down on the floor all together, typical like Indian culture with rangoli and all that thing being there. So it gives a feeling of togetherness. It gives a family sort of a feeling. Healthy debate. That was what the concept of Gurukul like pattern to share, learn, transform the younger generation in the coming time.
Oh yes, I thoroughly enjoyed every moment of it, right from the food, which was freshly cooked by the ladies of the village whom you have brought in for the project, and the breaks under the trees, some sessions under the trees, and of course the debates. The debates where a lot of learning took place.
Correct.
Why this and why not this, etc. And I think another session that I really enjoyed was the painting session.
Correct.
The meditation and the painting, sitting under the trees, and
right.
Just could you share a little about that?
See, basically the idea is the whole thing that human being actually faces in life is through the senses. I heard something and I felt about it something, and therefore I was mentally disturbed. I saw something and that remained into my memory and I'm disturbed. I smelt something and that is causing some disturbance in me. So our special senses are supposed to be the primary thing that actually cause the disturbance, or it actually brings us to health. So I thought, let me use this special senses into act to get some sort of a transformation in every individual, therefore painting is one of the thing, or showing a picture and making them experience what exactly is this. If it is, for example, it's a tunnel, imagine you being in a tunnel, what are you going through? So it is from the picture, from the images into an imagination. So image to an imagination, imagination to experience. So this is what I actually wanted to do, and it has really worked well, because one of the doctor conceived after 13 years of doing that painting exercise.
Oh, amazing.
Other doctor cleared with her eczema after doing this painting exercise, because it actually helps you to go to her inner childhood and experience that moment, as to let go what was disturbing you till date and come to awareness, so that health is there at a mental, physical and spiritual level.
Oh yes,
that's what was my whole understanding to bring it.
Wonderful, sir, and I think you've practically been able to achieve that. That is really, really nice.
Thank you.
I remember one of the highlights at Swara was guided case taking. I thought it was brilliant. Anything further you'd like to share with that, sir?
See, problem what happens with many of us is we never write down the questions when we are taking the cases. We just write what the patient is saying, and we'll end up saying that the patient is not talking. But what is the basic idea is, if my questions are not pertaining to the interest of the person in front who has come to my doorstep to seek for some help, then where am I taking that person? I am taking that person according to my likes and dislikes. I am not taking the person according to that person's like and dislikes. So guided case taking is, in a way, you guide a person, a homeopath who is giving the case, other homeopath who is a participant as a doctor, and one supervisor who has been already trained in this field to be in that cabin. Allow them to take the case history as per what they want, see where they are heading towards. Then if they are going into a gross mistake, we break and then we explain that thing, what was happening with the question, where did the question go, what is the person trying to tell who is the patient, and what is your question. Is there a purpose? Did you get the prospects? Did you get the possibilities of the entire thing, of the answer that was given? So this actually guides the physician to go on a right track, to see the right question at a right time.
Yes.
right?
Oh,
And
yes.
that gives the whole idea of, going into a right direction and right track, so that we get the proper understanding of that individual.
It is amazing, sir. I mean, both the times, I think every session I really learnt a lot, and I think you've been able to inculcate that, because in the SODPs that we see,
Yeah.
where everybody is given a chance to present the case and see where they are making a mistake,
Correct.
and where you continue to guide them.
Correct. That is an additional thing that we introduced, the Swara online discussion portal, SODP,
Yes.
what we call it as. Because, seminars we do for 2 days and then it is forgotten. We do not know whether it is really implemented by the people. So I thought, when we are doing this 4 times in a year, the project, people, let them get per 15 days, that is twice in a month, we have got this SODP online discussions, where all those people who have participated are presenting their cases.
Right.
So it gives them the direction, to give them the boldness to present one. Second, it gives them the scope of rectifying their mistakes, and time and after others who are listening also, they can rectify their own mistakes.
Yes.
So it gives them the art of confidence also, and a right direction to go. That's how hand holding training, what we call it as.
Absolutely, sir.
And that is very essential.
And I think that's very unique. Nobody else, I think, in the homeopathic field is doing it. Kudos to you, sir. Thank
Thanks
you so
a
much
million.
about it.
Thank you.
The other burning question I have is about the future of homeopathy. As an elder, what would you like to, how do you look at this younger generation today, in all their impatience, their addiction to social media, and want everything now, ippo as we say in English, in Tamil. What do you think about that? How would you advise them?
See, there are 2 things I'll tell you very frankly in this. One is the social media. Are we using it for good, or is it creating some sort of a nuisance value in our life? Is it something that is necessity, or is it a luxury? There's a hair thin line between these 2 things. And today what is happening is, many of the youngsters are using it not for some constructive utility.
Purposes,
It's a more of a wastage of time, one. Second thing is, if you see, many of them nowadays, I even ask the patients in the clinic, what did you have for a dinner last night? And people are just thinking, they're just, what did I have? And the reason behind it is, they are not even looking at the food, they are not even smelling the food. So there is no olfactory, there is no visual, pleasure that is derived, so that our enzymes or this thing are acting upon the food, that basically. And I always tell them, you must be doing this and having your food, because you are not looking at the food, you are not smelling the food. How do you expect the food to actually work and then give you the right this thing? So if this is the criteria, I would always advise the youngsters, please see to it that your time utility that is being spent on the mobile or on the social media is limited to certain extent, one. Second, get into some sort of a classical music listening, because that really generates a good level of your hormonal balance, at a psychological, neurological, endocrinological and immunological level, the TNEI axis. This classical music listening, even if these youngsters will do it for half an hour a day, it will be a great change in their lifetime.
Yes. Oh yes, sir. I mean, there is no doubt about it. I have certain patients who come to my clinic and say, why is the speaker not on? Because I have always been using classical music there's no doubt about it. Music really,
helps. It really makes a huge difference.
Bridge to the soul.
True.
Your vision for the future, sir?
My vision for the future is, now see, I have been practicing for past 30 years. I've got a lot from homeopathy. My vision is to give back the same homeopathic knowledge, the same idea and ethical practice to the younger generation, so that humanity is served at large to the best possible, rather than running into a materialistic way, rather than getting any shortcuts. I pass out from the college and I immediately want to practice. Don't do this. Allow yourself to grow rather than simply go through life. And that is very important message for the younger generation and for the future. This thing, let us spread good health at large to the human society.
In the same lines as that, sir, where do you see the role of contemporary homeopathy, now that we feel that homeopathy's horizons are expanding, we are making it more universal? How will this generation use that, come into it and take it up?
See, that's the reason why the idea of every year I spend a lot of time giving seminars in colleges. The whole idea behind the seminar in colleges is that the younger generation will see the results through the video cases. It's not only theory, but through the video cases, when they are actually seeing the results from the patient's mouth directly, gives them that little instinct desire that yes, homeopathy works. Yes. Once you give this visual impact that homeopathy works, then your half the work is done, because you are repeatedly doing it at every places that you are going. So college after college, when you are doing, even I believe if 5% of the students are converted, it's a big job that you have done throughout your life, as giving back homeopathic knowledge and giving back what you have learned from that science.
Yes, I believe you also doing a lot of stuff with the younger generation in schools. What is all that about, sir?
Yeah, because in my practice I see a lot of cases of PCOD, hormonal imbalance in girls in the young generation, and even in boys also there is a lot of because at the level of 8th, 9th, when they are 13, 14, you see there is a lot of hormonal changes that they are going through, and that is also the time when they are going through the 10th standard ka preparation also.
That pressures.
Yeah, so it is internal changes and external demand and pressure by the parents, where the parents are not ready to understand that the child is now behaving completely different, what was not there till the age of 10, 11. Parents will tell you that my child was so obedient, so well listening, so well behaved. I don't know, suddenly what has happened, what has really changed them. But they remember that there is a hormonal changes that is happening. There is a change in their own identification, that what I'm ascertaining, what I want is not what you are telling me. I want something different. How to bridge that gap between the parents thinking of that parent, the child is not listening, and the child's developmental changes, hormonal changes that is happening. This bridging is very, very important to bring it together. And therefore I started doing this parenting, I started doing this child guidance, lectures and all that thing in various schools, so that the child and the parent will know what is needed and what is needed to be rectified at that particular point of time.
Wonderful, sir. I think
that's what is very important.
I think nurturing at that time, at that age, crucial age, where you are going to step into adulthood is so important. Wonderful. Wonderful, sir. I like the way you are engaging with all age groups, and at the same time bringing in the values and ethics and the wonders of our science is kept up. Thank you so much, sir. It was wonderful talking to you. Thank you very much, sir. Wish you all the very best. Welcome again back to Chennai. We're really looking forward to more sessions here. Have a wonderful, bright future ahead of you.
Thanks a million.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.